Today I want to ask you a simple question. Is your home helping you stay independent, or is it quietly becoming a hazard that's jeopardizing your independence? When you're young, clutter is just an inconvenience. But when you get 50 and over, then it really becomes a hazard. It's a whole different story. After your 50s, it becomes a fall hazard, a fire hazard, or an emergency access problem, a stress trigger, or even a burden to your family. And that's a sign that your house is starting to control you instead of you controlling your house. At some point, clutter stops being stuff and becomes more of a risk. My name is Hutch. I spent over 23 years in surveillance and security at a major casino. And one of my jobs was identifying hazards before they became incidents. And that's the same thing with your house. On this channel, it is more geared toward the over 50 crowd in your 60s or 70s and beyond. I try to give whatever advice I can, or even just my opinion, on security, scams, safety, and better ways to stay independent. Just staying mobile. But my main thing is security, keeping you safe in your home, just trying to keep you more independent. That's all I hope for. And if you find any value of it, follow along or pass it on to somebody that could use some of this advice. And like I said, it's just advice or my opinion. You take it for what it's worth. I hope it helps somebody. With that said, I want to tell you a story. I was talking to one of my officers at the front door, and this couple was coming in. Now, in this casino that we're at, everybody has to show their ID coming in. And we run it through a little scanner there so that we know who's there. And that way it keeps the undesirables out if somebody's gotten barred. Anyways, this gentleman was coming in, and he was on a walker, pushing a walker, and his wife was with him. And as we were handing them their ID back, I noticed he had a big old black and blue spot on his head. And he goes, "Yeah, my picture don't look nothing like my ID." He goes, "I fell down." He said that he had just recently took a tumble. And his wife said, yeah, and it was his own dang fault too. He was going from the bathroom in the middle of the night from his bedroom. As he got up and was walking towards the bathroom, he stepped on a shoe that had been kicked out there in the middle of the path, and he tripped on it and he went down. He twisted his back and he hit his head on the bedroom door before he could even get there. Now, he never had a walker before this, and he don't think that he'll be using it very long, but it messed him up a little bit. And he realized how things could have been much worse. One, if he had been living alone, or two, if it took a harder hit. How long would he have laid there? And it was all because his path wasn't clear. And that's what clutter will do. A lot of it will. Now, every now and again something gets kicked out, I know. But a lot of times, folks have a bunch of clutter. And if it's stuff piled up in the corner of a room, that's one thing. But if it's stuff scattered through the middle of where you're going to walk, that's a whole different story. A good idea to do is just check your area from where you walk at night. Say if you're going to get up in the middle of the night to use the restroom, make sure you have a clear path. Make sure you have a clear path from the kitchen to the bedroom, from the kitchen to the bathroom. Make sure you have a clear path to the living room. Imagine if something was to happen to you, would emergency services be able to get to you without having to move stuff all over the place? Could they get a stretcher to you? Or would they have to drag you out, or firemen's carry you out or something like that? You don't want that. I mean, everybody's got a lot of stuff. Well, not everybody, but the majority of the people got a lot of stuff. And it sits in piles in some places, and that creates a hazard. And it don't matter what kind of stuff it is. A hazard is a hazard. And it don't have to be a big pile of junk somewhere that you're going to trip over. It could be something as simple as a cord to your computer, or a fan, or maybe the dog's bowl, or a dog's toy for all that. And a rug scuffed up and you trip over it and go down. And especially if you're over 50, those falls can be detrimental to your health. Supposing there was a fire in your house, would you be able to get, say, from your bed outside to the front door? Say the power was off, or low light. Are you able to get from one end to the other without no problem, without tripping on something? Would emergency services be able to come in and get you? Would your family be able to come to you, or would they be able to find your medication list or anything like that? If you answered no to any of those, maybe it's time to stop and take a look around. And you should make those paths a priority. Sit and look at them and see what it takes to have a clear path. Make that your priority to get that cleaned up, number one. That way you're in and out, you don't have no worries. It's the little things that'll creep up and get you like that, though. And I'll tell you about one of my own problems I had, and this was years ago now, maybe 10 years ago, 12 years ago. And I'm 66 now, so I was in my early 50s. I was coming out of my garage and I had these little steps that I come up to come out of the garage. Well, I had a load of laundry in my hands that I was bringing back into the house, and I got my foot tangled up in an extension cord as I was coming up that first step. And all it did was throw me off of balance, and I had that laundry in my hand. And in a perfect scenario, you think just throw it away and grab a hold of something, but there was nothing to grab, and you don't think that fast. But you should, seems like you should have the time, because as I fell backwards, everything was like in slow motion. I was just imagining what I was going to be impaled upon, whether it be a screwdriver, a hole saw, a shovel, maybe even a crowbar. All that kind of stuff is running through your mind as you're slowly falling backwards with nothing to grab. And thankfully, by the grace of God, I fell into a box of PVC pipe fittings. The little elbows and the extensions and the little T's and all that. So it was kind of a soft landing, but it sure could have been a lot worse. Fast forward 10, 12, 13 years to me right now at 66, that could have ended a lot differently. Even if I would have fell into the box of PVC pipe fittings or something, I could have twisted my back or something, and ain't no telling how long I laid there. But what if I wouldn't have? What if I wouldn't have been that? What if it would have been a toolbox full of wrenches and sockets and I hit my head or something? Living alone, how long would I have stayed there before somebody come across me? Would I just been knocked out and then regain consciousness like some Louis L'Amour cowboy? Or would I have just laid there until the flies started getting on me and my daughter or somebody was wondering where I'm at? All because I kept a sloppy area. I kept stuff in the way. Got an extension cord, throw it on the ground. Got a box, push it over there. Just make a little path to get to and from, not paying attention. And that is where clutter will get you, in my opinion. Some folks may be adept at crawling around clutter. I'm not that guy. But it got me to looking around, and I see all kinds of boxes I have laying around there. Boxes that could have PVC fittings, could have tools, could have dishes I bought at the auction, could have old shoes I meant to throw away and never went away. Just stuff everywhere. It was just a catch-all for everything. So what I've started doing is I've started taking some totes and putting stuff in the totes. I log it in on I'm using Apple phone, so I got a notes thing. I put everything that I got in there. I'll take a picture of the tote, and I bought me some of these little NFC tags off of Amazon. I got like 100 of them for $20, and no, I'm not an Amazon affiliate, so you get them wherever you can. Hopefully Walmart will get them for you. But what I do with that is put it on there as a shortcut, so if I touch that thing with my phone, it'll tell me what's in it. I don't have to pop it open. It'll bring up the note with everything that's in there, the list and the pictures of all the stuff that's in there. And I don't have to sit there and crack every one of them open. That's just one way to organize some of your clutter, unless you just want to get rid of it. But if you don't, that's a good way to do it, in my opinion. And then that way I can get rid of all the other junk and stuff, and you can stack totes as high as you can reach. And that's a good way to do it, because I believe if you don't have to pull stuff down to dig through it, it's not going to create clutter somewhere else. And once you get that all set up, it feels good. It feels like a win, because that's some dang good organizing right there. And I'm no techie, okay? I use that Chat GPT to answer questions, or as my daughter calls it, Chatty Daddy. And that thing, I can ask it anything, and it'll give me good advice and answer questions that I need. You got to check it, but still, it's an amazing thing. AI, of course, it's going to run the world, but I'll be gone before that happens, hopefully. But I don't know the way it's moving. But anyways, what I'd like you to do is, after this video is over, take a minute and think to yourself, what could I do to make a safer environment for myself? And here's a good idea, if you can. I want you to do this. Walk room by room. And I mean literally room by room. In the bedroom, can you reach the lamp? Can you reach your glasses? Is there a clear path to the bathroom? Are your slippers where you expect them? Go to the bathroom. Is the floor slippery? Do you have something to grab if you start to lose your balance and fall? Do you know where your medicines are? And are they easy to reach? Living room, look for extension cords on the floor. Area rugs curling, coffee tables with sharp ends on them. In the kitchen, do you have step stools sticking around, large appliances, heavy appliances stacked high up, frequently used items above shoulder level? Then stroll out to the beloved garage. Do you have oil spots there? Is there some standing oil that become a slip hazard? Tools laying around, again, something you can step on and roll out from under you. Boxes stacked too high, other than them totes. And that's a good system, I still say it. Because when we're young, we step over a cord without thinking about it, hop over a dog toy, or squeeze through some boxes to get somewhere. Then, one day your knees ain't quite what they used to be. Your balance isn't quite what it used to be either. And suddenly those little things become big things. And I know one of the hardest things for folks to admit, especially as they get to our age, is that things need to change. Nobody wants to change. We're set in our ways, and we figure we've made it this far, there's nothing wrong with it. But sometimes you have to think out of that box, especially as we age, we need to adapt. And what I mean by that is we need to make sure that we stay safe so that we can be independent and we're not relying on anybody to take care of us, other than ourselves if we have to. Cleaning a hallway isn't admitting defeat. It's protecting your freedom. So as you think about that, also think about this. Take this little test in your head. If the power went out, could you go to the bathroom, find a flashlight, find your phone? All this in the dark, could you do that? Could you reach your medicine? Could you get outside? If not, then the problem isn't the power outage, if you catch my drift. Imagine a firefighter trying to carry somebody through a hallway crowded with stuff, or trying to move a stretcher around boxes and furniture that don't belong in certain areas. Most falls don't happen off of ladders or roofs. They happen during everyday activities in the home. Here's something that surprised me, and I'm going to read this. It says, according to the CDC, more than 1 out of every 4 adults over 65 falls each year, and the falls are the leading cause of injury for older adults. What's even more eye-opening is research shows nearly 3 out of 4 fall injuries happen indoors, in places like the bathroom, the bedroom, the kitchen, on the stairs. So in other words, the biggest dangers aren't outside. It's on the paths in your house that you've walked 1,000,000 times. Also, here's something you ought to consider as well. Having yourself an emergency binder. And inside that binder, have things like medication lists, insurance cards, emergency contacts, doctors, allergies, living will, copies of IDs, anything you think you might need that you have to grab at one time. For, like, say, for example, a house fire or something, you got to get something. At least you have a binder with all that information in it that will save a ton of work later on. Don't make the kids hunt for it while you're riding in an ambulance somewhere. If you have something like that, they can pick it up and it'll have all the information they could possibly need, hopefully. Also, in a previous video, which I'll put a little thing up there on the top for you to see, I mentioned that little 5-minute rule where you take 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes in the evening. And what I do is right before when I get ready to start my coffee, I hit that old button and I'll spend 5 minutes. And I do this to today. I put in 5 minutes. I set a little timer on my watch. It's already preset. I hit start. And for 5 minutes, I go pick up stuff that needs to be put away. And I decide whether I'm going to keep something, sell something, trash something, or put it away. And I use that 5 minutes. And when that beeper goes off, I stop. I don't keep going because I don't want it to become a chore. I want it to be something that's just a little habit. And by then I drink my coffee. And in the evening, I do the same thing. You know, that's 10 minutes a day. That's 70 minutes a week. That ain't bad. And you make some significant progress. Now, if you want to take it a step further, increase that to 10 minutes, to 15 minutes. I wouldn't recommend going longer than that because then it may become something you dread. And once you start dreading it, you'll come up with reasons why not to do it. But once you start doing something like that, whether it be the 5, 10, or 15-minute rule there, you do that, you'll start seeing some progress. And inside, it'll make you feel good. It'll relieve a little bit of stress. You'll start to see a significant improvement in your house, in your area. And then after a while, when that becomes a habit, that's one of them good habits you don't want to break. So tonight, before you go to bed, walk from your bathroom to your bedroom with every light off. If something scares you, fix it tomorrow. Folks, this video was never really about shoes on the floor or extension cords. It's about being able to wake up tomorrow and take care of yourself. Independence usually isn't taken away all at once. Most often it's lost by one small accident at a time. If this has done any good for you, I'd be honored if you'd hit that subscribe button and that like button. Share it with somebody that might could use this. And I'll try to put a video up here in the top, one of these two sides, whatever. I'll put something up there linking you to that first decluttering one I did there. Maybe watch them both together, see what you think. Anyways, have a good one. I'll talk to you later. Just Ole Hutch. Until next time. Also, leave some comments. If you got something you'd like me to talk about, I'll be more than happy to talk about it. Please leave some comments and we'll see you later.